Yo, what's going on, your boy Ghosty, and today I'm bringing you guys another comparison video between the Type-63 and FFAR. Now, this comparison might seem random, but trust me, it's far from that. The Type-63 has, to me, become a very viable secondary, as weird as that sounds, and it definitely has the potential to be a very top-tier secondary. We'll get into that in just a second. But with FFAR getting nerfed, man, like I mentioned in my last video, there's been like a new opening of possibilities of new metas. I know that FFAR right now is still being used a lot, and again, I'll get into that a little bit later, but you know, there's a lot of more alternatives that we can use now. But yeah, with that being said, man, before we get into it, I want to say, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We're on the road to 2,000. Also, if you find this video informative or useful, hit that like button. And yeah, also, if you want any extra form of entertainment for myself, make sure to go follow me on Twitch at alwaysghost_. I attempt to stream daily. It's another way for me to interact with you guys, and it's honestly a really fun thing to do when you guys are in there and you were able to interact. But yeah, with that being said, man, let's get into it. And here we have the recoil pattern for the Type-63, which, to be honest, is kind of irrelevant because you're going to be using this to close to medium range, and since it's a single shot weapon, I don't think the recoil impacts you that much. I am aware that in my class setup, we have the titanium barrel, which makes it so you shoot pretty fast. If you're familiar with the DMR meta and you've used the DMR with the titanium barrel, you know how powerful titanium barrel is because you can shoot really quickly and it could be pretty insane. But don't worry, this Type-63 I don't believe to be at the DMR level. I will say it's kind of like a pocket DMR, but at the same time it's not. Like, it's not going to be as just annoying as the DMR, but it does have the capability of 2 and 3 shotting people, which is, you know, which is dope, but it's not like something that I see in the future as being something that's gonna haunt Warzone. Now, if it does, I apologize. I don't, you know, maybe I'm using it wrong, but to be fair, I think there's a lot of guns that can actually compete with this and outgun it, unlike the DMR, but we've got to wait and see. I will say this feels like a watered down FAL, if you guys are familiar with that meta. I feel like the FAL is a lot worse than this, and we survived that meta. And I don't think this gun is going to be anywhere near that level. But I think it has the ability to compete with FFAR and any other secondary options with 100%. I've been able to outgun multiple weapons as secondaries, and I've also been outgunned by multiple guns as secondaries. So don't fear. I don't see this meta being untouchable, kind of like how the FFAR and AUG was, I guess, or I guess even this now because the AUG is the OP and FFAR was really OP. But I think now with FFAR being watered down again, there's a lot more options at that secondary just slot, and this is one of those guns that I believe was gonna be like a great alternative. I mentioned something about this in my last video. I didn't specify what gun it was, but I mentioned that this was one of the weapons that I was looking at as a potential alternative. Now, I don't think a lot of people are actually gonna really give it a chance. I would recommend it to you guys. I feel like it's kind of like a fun just thing, but to be fair, or to be honest with you, this isn't like would be my go-to secondary. This isn't something I'm gonna rely on, to be honest. I'm gonna probably still run like a Mac or Groza, but the type is fun to use time to time. It is still pretty good, really good, but I don't know, it feels kind of unnatural running a tactical rifle as a secondary, no matter how good it is. I'm just a guy that likes that traditional SMG feeling, so I'm against using anything that's not an SMG or I guess pistol as secondary. I don't know, just how I am. But to be honest with you, the mobility on this is actually not that bad. Honestly, it feels a lot faster and just in every aspect than FFAR, the current FFAR, the nerfed one I mean. Like the ADS feels fast, the mobility feels great. Like, it's kind of surprising to me how fast it was. Like, I figured it was going to be clunky given the fact, like, you know, the DMR was somewhat, you know, it was a little bit slow. And, you know, I'm using a tactical rifle, so it would make sense for it to be a little slower than usual, but it turned out to be pretty fast. And I don't know, man, just it hit right. It did hit right. I was having a lot of fun with it. But again, no fear. This gun I don't see being anywhere close to like a horrible meta or a meta that's gonna make us not want to play the game. If it does, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I can see it being used a lot more in the next coming weeks, especially since people are starting to, like, I don't know, kind of just experiment with things. And I don't know, if someone decides to start using this, like a streamer or something begins using this like frequently, it can start picking up some attention. But yeah, man, with that being said, let's get into the FFAR. And here we have the recoil pattern for the now nerfed FFAR, and I'm gonna keep it a stack with you guys. I haven't used this gun since my last comparison video, but I have been observing, I guess, the state of the gun and what people are using and what people are attempting to do to try and negate that mobility nerf that it got in this recent patch. So the things that I do know that were changed in this recent patch was the ADS speed and mobility. I have heard a lot of people say things that like certain barrels now have more recoil and that this barrel helps with recoil, this other barrel has more. I don't know the truth to those claims. I still rock the second to last barrel. I have tested every barrel, and to be honest, I don't know. I don't really feel a difference or one better over the other. I just prefer the one that I've been rocking this whole time. But I think for the most part, people like using the fourth barrel, the 21 something. I forgot the name. The Ranger, I believe it's called. I know that's like the go-to barrel, but for me, it's the one after that. And to be honest with you, every time I see a streamer or just anyone use FFAR, I swear it's a different loadout. I've seen people use no agency suppressor and substitute it with a wrap or a different muzzle. I've seen people use the 38 round mag. I've seen people use under barrel. I've seen people use just different sets of attachments trying to negate the FFAR because they don't want to leave FFAR alone. And in all fairness, like the thing that should have been nerfed was the damage or fire rate. And I feel like they messed up by nerfing the mobility because I feel like that's what made the FFAR the FFAR. It made it such that versatile weapon that allowed for us to make it in the second game in the first place. But I don't know. The damage and or fire rate should have been toned down a little bit because I feel like if they would have done that, it would have made it like the perfect ideal weapon and it wouldn't have been a problem. Because for example, like take a look at the AMAX, right? The AMAX has a lot of damage, but isn't exactly the most versatile to be using as like a. Actually, maybe you can. I'm tripping. I've seen builds of the AMAX in secondary. I don't even know where I'm going with that, but if you make the weapon versatile, you're able to do a lot of things with it, and that's why a lot of people like pairing it up with the sniper. And now that they took the mobility away, it's kind of a little bit more difficult because it's a lot slower, and that versatility is not all that there. And there's more weapons out there that feel a lot better to run with the sniper. Don't get me wrong, the FFAR is still a great option, but I just like for me personally, a guy that values the mobility and movement, it just I don't know. I don't really want to like try to figure out builds, and I don't even know if there's a build that fully recaptures the old FFAR. But I don't know. I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for that. I think I have like another FFAR video coming out or in the works, so we'll see. We'll see by the time that video comes out if there's something new developments. I'm gonna try observing more things, trying to like learn more things about the FFAR change because I feel like there's still a lot of things that people are experimenting. Again, like there's probably like 20 different classes right now with FFAR of people just trying to recapture what it used to be. I don't know if it's gonna like. I guess right now theoretically it is meta still. Like it is still the true meta because it's all I see. I see everyone just running FFAR secondary. And I don't know. I personally can't use it anymore. It just feels weird. It feels like a different gun to me, and I just don't feel comfortable using it or running with it. Some of you guys may feel differently. Some of you guys feel like you are more than enough capable to run that gun, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. The weapon is still really good. It's just I feel like it's a lot more dethronable. Like I don't think it's like that one king that is untouchable. I just think that a lot more guns are able to compete with it, and I think are better for some things FFAR than FFAR itself. Again though, the FFAR does kill fast, so like that slight inconvenience at movement doesn't really matter to some people, and they just want the ability to kill really fast, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. It is what it is. That's what the gun is made for, really. But I don't know. I just kind of wish we steered away from this double AR meta. Like it's just like the fact that SMGs aren't the meta as a secondary or just any other gun that's ideally a secondary is kind of weird. What I'm saying? Like, I don't know, bro. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about the double AR meta? And again, the Groza right now is getting a lot of love. Like, it's getting a lot more love than Type-63. I know that for a fact. And I've been experimenting with it a little bit. And, I still got some things I want to solidify before I make a Groza video again. Because there's a lot of interesting things about it right now. And, it definitely, I think competes more with FFAR than the Type-63. But again, man, this is Type-63, a very good alternative. I think more than anything, it's a fun weapon to just like mess around with for a few games. I don't think it will be solidified as a meta ever, but that's not to say that's a terrible weapon. This is a really good weapon that could definitely compete with FFAR and a lot of the other SMGs or secondaries or whatever. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the possibility of the Type-63 becoming an SMG meta or being a part of the SMG meta. And let me know what your thoughts are on just the whole idea of this meta of secondaries that aren't SMGs. And yeah, man, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys later. And I'm out. Peace.